Alright, this is another one of those story-driven walking simulator type games. It's called Dear Esther. It's been out there a while. This Landmark Edition, they redid it in a new engine. Thank you to Pac in the chat for pointing that out. I know the original was in Source, but this apparently was made in Unity. It's a short game, apparently less than 2 hours, but we're going to get in here and give it a look and see how it is. I like story-driven games. I like the walking simulator type stuff. It's experiencing story, and something that a lot of video games don't do very well. But these type of games do story first and foremost. So if the story is worth telling, it's really fun to play them in an interactive way, to experience them in an interactive way. So I've been wanting to play this for a while, and we figured we could give it a shot. So looks like there's 4 main chapters. We could play it with director's commentary. We're not doing that. This is our first time through. Let's go to the lighthouse.
Dear Esther, I sometimes feel as if I've given birth to this island. Somewhere between the longitude and latitude, a split opened up, and it beached remotely here. No matter how hard I correlate, it remains a singularity, an alpha point in my life that refuses all hypothesis. I return each time leaving fresh markers that I hope, in the full glare of my hopelessness, will have blossomed into fresh insight in the interim.
That doesn't mean anything to me. What was all that? Wait, is this like a survival horror game? Should I have... This isn't a horror game, right? Is this a horror game? Should I have jump scares on? Pac. The very first line was the name of the game. Dear Esther, I'm saying this so Pac doesn't have to quote it. It's almost like we're trapped in the quarry. Your running gag, your punchline. Okay, someone's like into science stuff. I can't jump. Can't sprint. Can't crouch. Someone's already been here. Didn't wipe it, flush, or anything. Someone lived here, and it's a long time ago. Did the Predator come through here and bleed? Oh, that's blue, not green. Yeah, No Man's Sky is actually... It's pronounced incorrectly. The game is technically called Nomansky. It's named after a Polish person. No cap. Are there controls? Tell me there's a sprint. Or is this the whole way of their saying the game's an hour and a half long, but it'd be 20 minutes if you could sprint? Yeah. No, literally. All you can do is move and zoom in. Okay. That's all we're doing. It's not a sprinting simulator. It's not a jogging simulator. It's a walking simulator. So we're gonna walk. I'm the kind of guy who likes to take the high road. There's no jump button. Okay, good. Does anyone know where this game's supposed to take place?
Donnelly reported the legend of the Hermit.
Okay.
A holy man who sought solitude in its most pure form. Allegedly, he rode here from the mainland in a boat without a bottom, so all the creatures of the sea could rise at night to converse with him. How disappointed he must have been with their chatter. Perhaps now, when all that haunts the ocean is the rubbish dumped from the tankers, he'd find more peace. They say he threw his arms wide in a valley on the south side and the cliff opened up to provide him shelter. They say he died of fever 116 years later. The shepherds left gifts for him at the mouth of the cave, but Donnelly records they never claimed to have seen him. I have visited the cave and I have left my gifts, but like them, I appear to be an unworthy subject of his solitude.
You sound mad about that. Can I die? Okay. Is that the TTS guy? TTS Brian. Dear Esther, no named piece of crap has donated 10 bits. I mean, they both are British. You could be onto something. So we're gonna go that way, but first I want to go up here.
Sometimes from a passing tanker or trawler. From up on the cliffs they are mundane, but down here they fugue into ambiguity. For instance, I cannot readily tell if they belong above or below the waves. The distinction now seems banal. Why not everything and all at once? There's nothing better to do here than indulge in contradictions whilst waiting for the fabric of life to unravel.
That's dark. Why you gotta be so negative? Like the breeze, it kind of actually does feel like I'm here. I wonder if there's a VR mod for this. Be pretty good. Like the skybox, that's cool. The clouds, the god rays coming down.
Had not been taken out from the library since 1974. I decided it would never be missed as I slipped it under my coat and avoided the librarian's gaze on the way out. If the subject matter is obscure, the writer's literary style is even more so. It is not the text of a stable or trustworthy reporter. Perhaps it is fitting that my only companion in these last days should be a stolen book written by a dying man.
Did Bellatar direct this or write it? This seems like a Bellatar type project. If you don't know who Bellatar is, Google him. He's a filmmaker.
Died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice. They cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boats, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this, to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
Okay. So there's an infection of some kind through here. Are those gravestones? Are they runestones? What's up with that down there? Alright. I didn't go that way. I took the high road. But I'm a little confused.
Like Lot's wife, you and I. We feel no particular need to turn back. There's nothing to be seen if we did. No tired old man parting the cliffs with his arms. No gifts or Bibles laid out on the sand for the taking. No tides turning or the shrieking gulls overhead. The bones of the hermit are no longer laid out for the taking. I have stolen them away to the guts of this island, where the passages all run to black, and where we can light each other's faces by their strange luminescence.
The passages all run to black. Great value Stonehenge. When you order Stonehenge on Wish.com. Fiverr Stonehenge. Hey, what's this in the ground? It's more of those paint cans. So there's like a...
Dear Esther, I met Paul.
Said it again.
I made my own little pilgrimage.
I'm at Paul.
By Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
Roll credits. I know he said Dear Esther twice now. You might as well roll credits.
This hermit, this seer, this distant historian of bones and
Different
old
VO
bread,
session.
where did he vanished to? Why? Asked the farmers. Why? Asked Jakobsen. Why bother with your visions at all, if you're just to throw your arms up at the cliff and let it close in behind you and seal you into the belly of the island, a museum shut to all but the most devoted?
We are Valorant. We are fighters. I say that all the time out in public. Just randomly start telling people I'm Valorant. Is there somewhere I'm supposed to go in this cave? Can I swim across here? Like, I feel like I'm in a dead end, but I know I'm not, right? It looked like I could go in the water earlier. I don't know if that was just because I was at the start of the game. I was like, hey, can I walk in the ocean? Hey, okay, we can go in the water. Cool. I'm drowning. Stop for a little swim. No biggie. In BD. Oh, I'm drowning. Have no idea where I am. Is this part of the game?
Come back.
Achievement unlocked. I guess I'm supposed to stay on the rocks somehow? I can't jump on them. What am I supposed to do? Stackhouse. That drowning visual gave me the heebie-jeebies for some reason. True, true. I know, I'm like, what am I seeing? You might see it again here in a second, because I don't know... No, no. I don't think I'm supposed to go here. I'm not supposed to go here. I can't turn around. I can't turn around. It's not letting me turn around.
Come back.
So I guess I go this way, back towards the Great Value Stonehenge. Stonehenge ordered on Wish.com. Okay, I guess we're gonna go this way. How you doing tonight, Stack? For those who've just joined in, or if you've been lurking, and maybe you missed the first game I tried to play, it's a little game called A Plague Tale: Innocence. I thought this will be a fun game I've never played before. I've heard great things. Stealth game. I like stealth games. I should have checked a little website called doesthedogdie.com first.
He still maintains he wasn't drunk, but tired. I can't make the judgment or the distinction anymore. I was drunk when I landed here, and tired too. I walked up the cliff path in near darkness and camped in the bay where the trawler lies beached. It was only at dawn that I saw the bothy and decided to make my temporary lodgings there. I was expecting just the aerial and a transmitter stashed in a weatherproof box somewhere on the mount. It had an air of uneasy permanence to it. Like all the other buildings here, erosion seems to have evaded it completely.
So here we are at Great Value Stonehenge. Yeah, we'll put a bow on that. A Plague Tale: Innocence. Look, I can handle sometimes if an animal dies in a movie, it's not a big deal. A dog dies in a movie, not a deal breaker for me most of the time. For Melissa, deal breaker. All right, we just watched Prey tonight, that Predator prequel. I had to look it up and make sure that the dog doesn't die before we watched it. It's in some peril in a couple of moments, but it does live. Spoiler alert. So if that's a deal breaker for you, you can watch Prey. It's a pretty good movie, actually. And in a video game, if an animal dies, it depends on how it's handled. If I'm going to accept it and be okay with it and move on, or if I'm just going to be like, fuck you. Because it's not real, right? I know it's not real. I know there's a separation, but my problem is, are they doing it as like a cheap way to get emotion out of you, or did they earn it? When they can't get through the prologue, when they set up that this is a very good dog and we have a good relationship and you get to pet the dog, and then before they even roll the opening credits, the dog dies a violent death. No. I uninstalled it. Is Prey good? It was good. Yeah, it was actually really good. It's very well made. The director who's made that's only made 2 movies, and the first one was 10 Cloverfield Lane, which was also a good movie, even though it really had nothing to do with Cloverfield. That was a pretty good movie. The ending was totally bullshit, but, you know, whatever. So if this is just going to take me back down where I would have... Oh, no, I wouldn't have been able to get up there. Okay, so this is the only way I had to get down here. Yeah, rats killed the dog. Look, it's called A Plague Tale. And there's, on the opening screen, the splash screen at the start, there's like thousands of rats all over the place. It got ripped apart by rats. You don't see the rats, but there's enough of them in a hole to pull the dog down and rip it up. Yeah. As a way to show how dangerous the rats are, but it was very cheap. It was cheap, you said. I say very cheap. I'm going to add a V-E-R-Y to it. Don't make multiple attempts, to get me to emotionally connect to an animal that you're just going to kill off in the start. If you earn your way up to it, I'm going to spoil a couple of games here real quick. I'm sorry. There are animals that die in a couple of games that I love, like Shadow of the Colossus and Red Dead Redemption 2. And they don't make these massive efforts to make you connect to animals, but you just kind of do through your time with the game, and at the end, the deaths are paid the reverence that they deserve. We'll just put it that way. I don't want to spoil anything. I don't think about having to worry about a dog because I knew I would feel bad for the rats anyway and had to avoid that IP altogether. Okay. And look, it's a stealth game and it was free. I've had it on my watch list for a while. Someone in chat, might have been Pox, said at least it was free. Okay.
Dear Esther,
there it is again.
I've now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my ordnance survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services, but although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
3. Esther counts at 3 right now. He said Dear Esther 3 times now. So yes, Stackhouse, if you were avoiding it because of rats, you should be triply avoiding it because of a dog death in the start of the game. I'm going to make a highlight video of that, by the way. You might not want to watch it for the dog death in it. Maybe, in fact, maybe I'll blur it out. But you'll see my reaction. And then you'll see me rage uninstalling. Actually, the novelty of it might actually be kind of funny. You know, I can't help myself. It's true. By the way, can we get a shout out? I know Quacer's watching a show. He's watching Miss Marvel. Can we get a shout out? I want to shout out Toko and Soma, because they threw some gifted subs at us tonight. But can we get a shout out for Kois? Let me do this real quick. I know he doesn't stream, but I'm gonna do that anyway. $500 cash donation to get us started tonight. The net number down there is 4206. That number is gonna be closer to 500 after tonight when I count the money that I'll get from Twitch, or what Twitch is gonna consider what they are gonna pay me for the gifted subs. I just can't see what those amounts are right now. $5 million? I mean, that's not really the number, but it feels like it. So, I'm not going to correct you, Pac. I'm not going to do that. But as we walked through the channel goals, I did say we could hit that number tonight on every single one of the goals. And we actually pretty much hit 2 numbers already. But yes, if you weren't here for the start, when I went through and showed all the goals, there's some big ones. Okay, so here's a creepy old boat. Where's the giant enemy crab that I can fight? Hey, if you're throwing me $5 million, you're throwing Canine Companions $5 million. Let's be fair. But I've ordered Tardif Needs a Friend. That's not me. As Pac said in the chat, Tardif needs a friend that's not cussing at Valorant every few nights. So I've ordered a friend for Tardif. And we might just do a naming contest for the friend of Tardif as well. It will be a long-haired golden plush. And maybe Sunday we'll do a Jackbox stream, because that's the first one on here is Jackbox. So do I keep going this way? I'm not sure. Unless they're starting to fade again. Oh, thank you, Soma. Appreciate the gifted subs too. You do not have to give anything. Really appreciate it, though.
There must be a hole in the bottom of the boat. How else could new hermits have arrived?
There's a hole in the bucket. Neither did he eat nor drink. Can I Skyrim my way up this? I'm trying to Skyrim my way up it. It's not letting me. It's not letting me do it. Okay, well, I can't do anything over here. It's weird playing... It's weird playing this without being able to pick things up, without being able to interact with the world at all, without being able to crouch or jump or sprint. You're just going to walk around and you're going to look at stuff.
I had kidney stones and you visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
The car of a drunk. Shouldn't be driving. So how long to beat had this game at like an hour and 20? Hour and 30? I'm feeling like...
Is this what Paul saw through his windscreen? Not Lot's wife looking over her shoulder, but a scar in the hillside, falling away to black forever.
I think you know what's happening next. I think you know. Oh, come on.
Come back.
I'm getting achievements for jumping off of stuff. When I drowned and now when I jump there. Is that the point of this game? To get all the achievements? Find all the ways to walk off of cliffs and stuff? Okay. Anyway, how long to beat has this? Just around an hour and a half, maybe a little less. I seriously think it'd be about 30 minutes if I could sprint. I like the lighting here.
I've begun to climb, away from the sea and towards the center. It is a straight line to the summit, where the evening begins to coil around the aerial and squeeze the signals into early silence. The bothy squats against the mount to avoid the gaze of the aerial. I too will creep under the island like an animal and approach it from the northern shore.
Gee, I wonder where the game wants me to go. Gee, you think it's up there? Where the god rays are coming down and aiming right at this building? In this path? Imagine walking up and down this every day just to get your mail. Alright, Esther. I'll be right back. Gotta go get the mail. You got a bill to pay? Oh, I gotta go back down again.
In the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after.
Lime flavored.
There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him.
Invisible can. Hey, what's in here?
When the lamps ran out, I didn't pick up a torch, but used the moonlight to read by. When I've pulled the last shreds of sense from it, I will throw Donnelly's book from the cliffs and perhaps myself with it.
Hey!
Maybe it will wash back up through the caves and erupt from the spring when the rain comes, making its return to the hermit's cave. Perhaps it will be back on the table when I wake. I think I may have thrown it into the sea several times before.
Where are we dropping, boys? Where are we dropping, boys? Oh, Tilted Towers.
Jakobsen's ribcage, they told Donnelly, was deformed. The result of some birth defect, or perhaps a traumatic injury as a child. Brittle and overblown.
Show you a birth defect.
Light. Perhaps it was this that finally did for him. Unable to contain the shattering of his heart. In half-light, his skeleton a discarded prop. A false and calcified seabird.
Okay, so I want to go up here. Is the game going to let me, or is it just surrounded by rocks? Like, I see an antenna up there, like a radio tower. I would like to go see that. Will it let me? Is the question. I'm thinking it won't. Well, no, this is looking promising. These little rocks I can walk on. Oh, come on, Skyrim. The Locust. I saw them open for Dillinger in a bar here called Trees. They were so sick. It was awesome. My first time seeing Dillinger. I bought their CD, their full length that they had there. It's like Plague Transmissions or something like that. Plague... something like that. Alright, I'm gonna go for that scav contract right down here. Alright, I'm dropping. Going for that scav. Oh, didn't get it. Plague Soundscapes, thank you. I was in the right ballpark. I bought that CD. I have it. I should be in the mood to listen to The Locust. It's not a band I can just like throw on casually. You gotta be down. You gotta be in the mood. So this cliff's edge is not really made to be walked on. I kind of feel like I could slip at any time and oh, where are we dropping? Come back. Oh, misstep. Come back.
Come back.
Maybe I don't want to come back. Maybe I've had enough already. They are something. That is a good way to put it. They're something. All right. The Locust. All right. After this game, are we gonna play some Val? We gonna do some Vampire Survivors? Oh wait. Maybe we'll do a tier maker. I have one queued up. And I will say, after looking through, there's a good portion of this actor's films that I have not seen. So I'll have to be honest about it.
In early spring.
Jakobsen!
Thor had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. He'd struggled halfway down the cliff path, perhaps looking for some lost goat, or perhaps in a delirium, and expired, curled into a claw right under the winter moon. Even the animals shunned his corpse. The mainlanders thought to bring it home unlucky. Donnelly claims they dragged it to the caves to thaw out and rot, but he is proving an unreliable witness.
Oh, caves like this one I'm about to walk into? Great.
Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken.
No, it's not. It's fine. Just
Clearly
respawn.
infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, wintered tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
I'm confused.
Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my
Yeah,
leg.
I heard that already.
I think the femur is broken.
Really,
It's
though?
clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, wintered tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
Imagine that in VR. Oh, that's the end of the level. Achievement. Jakobsen. My femur's broken.
Donnelly did not pass through the caves. From here on in, his guidance, unreliable as it is gone from me. I understand now that it is between the two of us, and whatever correspondence can be drawn from the wet rocks.
Alright, now my femur's broken, probably. Yeah, this fall would break my femur. Now my femur's broken. That was a fall. By the way, this is cool. Alright. Yep, nope, I like this. This is pretty neat. It's kind of Oblivion Cave, but better. Better graphics. Kinda. The original Source version probably looked more like Oblivion. I would break my femur from that fall and built different. So no, he's auto crouching now. He's using a hack. Let me know if that's too loud. I have the volume down turned on to 69, but let me know if that's still too loud. I'll turn it down more. I can't see my feet. It's kind of Oblivion Cave, isn't it? Man, when are we getting Sky Oblivion?
I first saw him sat by the side of the road. I was waiting for you to be cut out of the wreckage. The car looked like it had been dropped from a great height. The guts of the engine spilled over the tarmac, like water underground.
Yeah, can we get it yesterday? Pretty please. Oh, that new monitor you got? Yeah. Did you get like a 46-inch ultra-wide today? 49-inch ultra-wide? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous! Bigger than most people's living room TVs. You don't need to wear your glasses sitting in front of that thing. I've got 27-inch flat panel, and that's... For the distance I sit, that's a good... I would be doing this. Like, if you're playing it like a racing sim, that monitor would be bitching. Oh, man. Can I just, like, hang out here? That'd be cool. I wouldn't say live, but just hang out for a while. Wait, is this where I just came from? This is where I just came from. Doggone it. Is this Titanfall? Titanfall 1 was made in the Source engine. Can I run on the walls? Instant way to get Pac to comment in the threads, just say something about Titanfall. It's like their favorite game of all time. 2 is also Source engine? Ah. I wasn't sure. I bought Titanfall 2 on PS4 recently. Just to have it. Just to have it. No reason. Just wanted to have a physical copy of it. Ah. You know, I was told when I was younger not to go chasing waterfalls. But here we are. Oh, yeah, heavily modified. Y'all seen Homestar Runner? Looks like we're gonna have to jump! Where are we dropping, boys? Pachinki is my city. Wow. Alright. Give me a VR mod of this. Like, for reals. That's really what VR should be for. Not for playing crazy, fast-paced action games, shooters, etc. Give me walking simulator, story-driven type games. The Quarry. I would play The Quarry in VR. There's not a ton of action. It's mostly story and dialogue. Let me walk around at a slow pace so I don't get motion sick. VR is tough for me. You wouldn't play the Quarry in VR? Well, I wouldn't play the Quarry again. Once was enough for me. We did finish it last week, though. Quicker than I thought we would. I could probably do a better job at getting more people killed in the Quarry. I kind of screwed up and saved more lives than I wanted to. Why was Jacob still alive? Question mark. For some reason, I really have to pee right now. Okay. Come on. Yeah, this is, yeah. This is pretty neat. Should have shot the bush twice. So, the first time you shoot the bush, it won't hurt him. The second time, it will. The problem is, I must have shot into a place where you can't hurt him. Because there's... I must have been a little too high to the left or something. Like, there's... Shooting the bush the second time is supposed to kill Jacob. But somehow I shot the bush the second time and it didn't work. I looked it up, trust me. Because I wanted his ass dead. Would have saved us a lot of trouble. I wonder what the whole basement level at their house would have been like with him dead. This is very Oblivion. Am I gonna crouch? Yep, auto crouch. Mod. Hack. Elite hacks installed. Whoa, I'm moving fast now. I'm moving fast for someone with a broken femur.
If the caves are my guts, this must be the place where the stones are first formed. The bacteria phosphoresce and rise, singing through the tunnels. Everything here is bound by the rise and fall, like a tide. Perhaps the whole island is actually underwater.
I mean, I doubt it, but still pretty neat. Still got his paint. He's still been putting chemical formulas and stuff on the walls. He's still talking about his kidney stones. Perhaps my kidney stones are still underwater. From all the ale I consumed at the pub after stopping off in the M5. Hey, yeah, we don't kink shame here. Whatever you're into is perfectly fine. I just maybe don't need to hear about it. I'm an old man. Speaking of, The Old Man on FX. Pretty good show. Enjoyed that. We watched it last weekend. Are these like stones that I could be mining? Did you watch The Old Man, Stackhouse? I don't think we talked about that, did we?
I will hold the hand you offered to me. From the summit down to this well, into the dark waters where the small flowers creep for the sun. Headlights are reflected in your retinas, moonlit in the shadow of the crematorium chimney.
Dark. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, I did too. So they had to cut it from 10 episodes to 7. And they basically had to shut down production 3 full times. Once for COVID in March of 2020, once for Bridges' lymphoma, and then he got COVID soon after. So they filmed the last episode. They basically kind of wrote it into 3. 3 into 1. But it didn't feel rushed. Like, they actually felt like it came to a proper conclusion. So that was cool. I'm looking forward to season 2. Oh, by the way, Stackhouse, if you're like me and Melissa, especially Melissa, when the dogs were dropped off at the at the pet hotel, and Yeah, I read an interview with one of the producers about season 2. They already know where they're going with season 2. It's probably going to be a full 10 episodes, but someone, the interviewer asked at the end, will the dogs be back? And the producer said, yes. I don't think we have a show without the dogs. So the dogs will be back. Yeah, see, that's the thing. After I read a couple of articles, I was like, 'cause I wanted to read more about it, and I was like, wait, this was supposed to be 10 episodes, and they shoved it into 7, but it worked. Like, it didn't feel... I wanted more, and I would have liked 2 more episodes, or 3, technically 3 more episodes. Did they shove 4 episodes into 1? I don't know. They were going to be 10, and they ended up with 7, so they cut 3 out. But it you know, maybe they rushed a couple of things to get there. I'm not sure, but I didn't feel like it did. I thought they did a really good job with the writing. I kept asking Larry about the dogs. Thank the spaghetti monsters, but keep them safe and alive. Yes, please. I don't even know what their names are. Behold, Damascus is taken. Someone was losing their damn fool mind. And here's the chemical formula for cocaine, and here's the chemical formula for heroin, and here's the chemical formula for LSD, and away from being a city, and it shall be a running meme, a fungus heap. Damn ass cuss. Yeah, he never really came out and gave the dogs names, but they're like 2 very good Roddies. So Stackhouse, when you watch Prey, just know the dog lives. But you should watch it. It was very good. Now I want to play Oblivion. Guess we swimming now. Oh, the dog in Prey? Very good dog. Very good dog. Very, very good doggo. Well, my broken femur is infected, and it's going to... You're supposed to keep things like that dry. Whoa! My leg. My other leg. Wait, what? Where am I? What? Oh my god, imagine that fall in VR. No shit. Give me money. Give me money. Pick it up. Pick it up. Classic and Oblivion will probably be the first things I pop in once I open the desk and everything's set up. Yes! Oh, yeah. My friend Alberto, every time he gets a new graphics card, he ends up installing Doom, original Doom. Like, you're really pushing the boundaries. Oh! Swim up to the light, Carol Ann! Sweet. Like the music too. Fits the mood really well. Again, kind of Oblivion-y. I'm moving a little slower now. My leg hurt. It's just a broken femur, dude. Shake it off. Rub some dirt on it. You'll be alright. Alright, I think we're going to the last section. He said Dear Esther 3 times now, right? Are we going to get a 4th? Nice. It's a full moon. Werewolves are gonna get me. Wait, that was last Friday.
I sat here and watched 2 jets carve parallel white lines into the sky. They charted their course, and I followed them for 21 minutes until they turned off near Sanford and were lost. If I were a gull, I would abandon my nest and join them. I would starve my brain of oxygen and suffer delusions of transcendence. I would tear the bottom from my boat and sail across the motorways until I reached this island once again.
Who lit all these candles? Who dat? Hey. Hey! What are you doing up there? Are you playing the piano I'm hearing right now? Pictures of the car crash.
Pocket full of stolen ash. Half of it fell out of my coat and vanished into the car's upholstery. But the rest I carefully stowed away in a box I kept in a drawer by the side of my bed. It was never intended as a meaningful act, but over the years it became a kind of talisman. I'd sit still, quite still for hours, just holding the diminishing powder in my palm and noting its smoothness. In time, we will all be worn down into granules, washed into the sea and dispersed.
Hey, Fiascos. Fiascos, how you doing? Who dat? Who up there? Who dat?
Sean the non-believer. Sean.
Sean the creepy person on top of the hill. Sean. Yeah, that guy's tripping major balls. I don't think there's a reason for me to go out there anywhere, so what? Oh, wait, what's this? Defib paddles? Okay. Hit me in the chest! I guess we are going this way, after all. Beep, 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 beep. Can you hear the gent remix of this? Dun, 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 dun. So I like the atmosphere of this game. The music, mostly good. Although story's a little obtuse. Artsy in the way that everything's worded, but like if this game's only a little over an hour long and I'm gonna have to Google to find out what actually happened. That's not great. I never got to go up to that water or that radio tower either. Kind of sucks. Dude, still up there. I'm gonna get to you. Music dropped out now. Did they make shrines all over the place? Parts of the car. etc. Uh-huh. It's playing weird noises and stuff whenever I zoom in on these things. Is that part of your summer job still, Pock? I don't think it was.
There were chemical stains on the tarmac. The leak of air conditioning, brake fluid and petrol. He kept sniffing at his fingers as he sat by the roadside, waiting as if he couldn't quite understand or recognize their smell. He said he'd been traveling back from a sales conference in Exeter. He'd stopped for farewell drinks earlier, but had kept a careful eye on his intake. You could hear the sirens above the idling traffic.
Flight from heaven shone around him. I'm holding shift like it's gonna sprint. It's not working. After this, we're doing a tier maker. Ranking movies of a specific actor. Won't say who. Toko, don't spoil it. I know I already told you this afternoon.
From here, I can see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic, and I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
Okay. Sorry. I'm mouse wheel scrolling. I'm clicking, trying to melee. I guess there's not a reason to go up here, especially with my broken femur and all. Let me guess. I can walk all the way up to that radio tower if I just go this way really slowly. Or is there... Wait, that's the way I'm supposed to go anyway, right? Okay, well then let's go check this real quick, just to make sure I didn't miss anything story-wise. Get that ace. 1v5. On a sudden, a light from heaven shone around him, and he fell to the ground. Alright, we're going up. Now, this is really compelling, right? There's definitely a lot of room for interpretation in what's going on in this story. Am I even here? Is this like a limbo? Sprint jump. Pull out Steve. Wait, am I making my way downtown? Am I making my way up this hill to that dude that was up there? Making my way through the hood.
I will drag my leg behind me. I will drag it like a crumpled hatchback, tires blown and sparking across the dimming lights of my vision. I'm running out of painkillers and am following the flicker of the moon home. When Paul keeled over dead on the road to Damascus, they restarted his heart with the jump leads from a crumpled hatchback. It took 21 attempts to convince it to wake up.
Yeah. There they are. You're not gonna let me up there, are you? You're not gonna let me up there, are you? Or are you? At this point, I have no idea what's gonna happen.
begun my voyage in a paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fiber, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
Alright, where'd you go, dude? Were you like a ghost or something? Because you were just here. I want to jump, but I'm afraid it's going to make me walk all the way back up that again, so I'm not going to do it. We are literally walking all the way up to this radio tower, aren't we? With my broken femur, I'm out of painkillers. Riveting gameplay. Is anyone else in chat? Chat, have you all played this before? Does this dude have a step ladder? How did he get up there and write all this stuff way up there? I'm confused.
If only Donnelly had experienced this, he would have realized he was his own shoreline, as am I.
It's turning purple.
Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning synapses, the stones, the infection.
I like the stones. Hey, you, get off my cloud. I have half of me loves it, half of me thinks it's too pretentious. Yep. I'm leaning more towards pretentious, but we haven't finished it yet. I have this in my library. Maybe I'll play it after the stream. I'm not trying to ruin it for you, Fiascos, but I will say this is definitely an experience.
Reflected in these retinas.
Juggernaut, thank you for the
Tunnels of
raid.
my island without a bottom. The sea creatures have risen to the surface.
Oh, thank you for that resub. 26 months, Tree. Thank you.
What up?
What up? Oi, oi, Treebeard. Thank you for the raid. Appreciate it. Jugger Mob raid. What's up,
Gulls are
Bag?
here to carry them back to their nests.
This is almost
I've
over.
become fixed, open and staring, an eye turned on itself. I've become an infected leg whose tracking lines form a perfect map of the junctions of the M5. I will take the exit at mid-thigh and plummet to my Esther.
It's a walking simulator, story-driven game. My character's femur is broken, and I'm just kind of hobbling around, trying to find the answer to something. I'm not quite sure what yet. There's a crazy person that lived here before me on this island, and now I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I mean, calling it a game isn't really... You have controls of WASD and mouse 1 zooms in. That's it. It's not really a game. It's a walking simulator. Can't interact with anything. But when you look at things, the guy starts talking, so. It's an experience. The caves was the 3rd level. I'm on the last level right now. The caves were pretty cool. Music's really good. But yeah, it's a little pretentious. Kind of arty for art's sake, which works for me sometimes and sometimes it doesn't. Mortuary Assistant. How about I just watch your VOD? I have it on my wish list on Steam, though, I will say. I mean, this is pretty cool. Like, the environment's really cool. And we've walked all of this from the bottom all the way around and back up here. So we've made our way through this environment. Yeah, I've seen a little bit of Mortuary Assistant to know that I don't know that I want that game, to be honest. Kinda not. I watched Forzen play it a little bit. I watched you play it a bit. Yeah. Yeah. I have enough horror games right now. Maybe if it goes on sale.
He was not drunk, Esther. He was not drunk at all. He had not drunk with Donnelly or spat Jakobsen back at the sea. He had not careered across the lost shores and terminal beaches of this nascent archipelago. He did not intend his bonnet to be crumpled like a spent tissue by the impact. His windscreen was not star-studded all over like a map of the heavens. His paintwork etched with circuit diagrams, strange fish to call the gulls away. The phosphorescence of the skid marks lighting the M5 all the way from Exeter to Damascus.
It's kind of breezy up here. Still waiting for the werewolves because it's full moon. The moon's really close, by the way. That's more than a super moon. That's like a super duper moon. We're finally getting up to the radio tower. Will we learn anything? Oh, whoa. Is this Half-Life? Stick around here. We're going to do a tier maker ranking the films of an actor. Specific actor that we like. That I like. I'm a big fan of. Like, yo. What are you doing? Get out of there. Creeping me out.
I am the Ariel. In my passing, I will send news to each and every star. Dear Esther, I have burnt my belongings, my books, this death certificate. Mine will be written all across this island. Who was Jakobsen? Who remembers him? Donnelly has written of him, but who was Donnelly? Who remembers him? I have painted, carved, hewn, scored into this space all that I could draw from him. There will be another to these shores to remember me. I will rise from the ocean like an island without bottom, come together like a stone, become an aerial, a beacon, that they will not forget you. We have always been drawn here. One day the gulls will return and nest in our bones and our history. I will look to my left and see Esther Donnelly flying beside me. I will look to my right and see Paul Jakobsen flying beside me.
Uh-oh.
They will leave white lines carved into the air to reach the mainland.
Uh-oh.
Where help will be sent.
Think I know what's about to happen. Where are we dropping, boys? Tilted Towers. Okay, now I was saying earlier that I would love to play a VR mode of this game. Now I'm not so sure. Slowest death ever. Oh! I flew away. Wait, what? Hey, Skelly with the resub at 19 months. Thank you so much. I think we just finished Dear Esther, which is kind of a story-driven walking simulator type game. Not really a game, just more of a story-driven experience. A lot of slow walking around, some pretty cool environments. Because the game I was going to play, a dog is killed in the start of it, and I wasn't feeling it.
For the dog goes, always. But for your continued badassery. Good touch on that tip amount too, hair?
Stackhouse, thank you for that $69.69 tip. Thank you. Right at the end of the game.
69, dude!
69.
69.
And 69. Thank you for that donation. Love it. I think the game's over. The game's over. So, the Chinese Room was kind of a newer company when they made this. It almost feels like a proof of concept or like a... I don't want to say a student project because that kind of makes it sound a little amateur. I don't think this was amateur at all. Not at all. But I gotta say... pretentious. Yes, pretentious is the word. It's pretty good. Like the graphics, the setting, the environments, all very good. Would have liked a little bit of something to be able to interact and pick up things and move them around. Like, give me the ability to every once in a while pick up a paint can and spin it around and look. That would have felt a little more like I had something to do with the world instead of just walking through and looking at stuff. I think that would have made it a little bit of a better experience for me. Having said that, it's pretty neat. It was free. I don't remember why I got it free. Did I buy the original and then I got upgraded for free? I don't remember. It seems like something I maybe threw a couple bucks at one day on a Steam sale. I don't know that it was given to me free. I don't think it was. Pox says, so basically your wife died in a car crash and you're going insane or something. That's kind of what I got from it. Dear Esther. Esther's the wife. He's talking about going back to this island because he wants to find something, but he's probably the one who drew all that weird science shit all over the place. Say science shit, it's really just, yeah. Okay, cool. So that was Dear Esther. 73 minutes was the playtime on that.